Welcome back to some professional Starcraft 2. Some of the best Europe has to offer. Terran versus Protoss from two very fun players. First, the Terran. In the bottom left, in the red, it is souL. I think souL stands out. He's an aggressive player, but many Terrans are. With nearly impeccable micro, which doesn't really help him stand out much in the European field. But he does really rely on those timings, at least from what I've seen. We'll see. But multitasking, is still, I could be describing like 3 to 5 Terrans pretty easily. But souL. And in the top right is SKillous, who's a similar type of player. Once again, I haven't seen many games. I'm trying to check out more. But SKillous has been right on the edge of, I guess, competing with the big boys. Essentially, souL and Raynor and everybody else. Elaser, Hearthstone. All to varying degrees. Mostly souL and Raynor, but he seems to struggle more. Like, SKillous is an online hero. That's not meant so much as like an insult as he just needs to put it together in offline events. Well, thankfully for him now, many of the up-and-coming events will probably not be offline events. So maybe, like, if you're looking for an underdog, a dark horse, well, SKillous might be your guy. We'll see. Then he's going to lose to, like, horribly and lose 34 probes to Hellions or something. Now that I've said that, it's definitely going to be ruined. I'm sorry, SKillous. You might be like, Winter, isn't this a replay? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Thank you, Wardy. Irrelevant. The Reaper sends its way across the map. Wait, what? What does that even mean? I just zoned out for 3 seconds and then the Reaper sends its way across the map? Does the Reaper have a mind of its own? Is the Reaper like, well, you said stay in the base, but I don't care what you say, Dad. I'm gonna go over there. I'm gonna take out this pylon. Do you even have enough ammo for that? Dad, they don't have ammo anymore. Like, it's been 20 years since the Brood War. Calm down. Let me do this. There weren't even Reapers in the Brood War. I think, right? The Adept, it throws pretty mad shade, but the Reaper does get away. Twilight Council, likely to be Blink, especially, aggressive Blink, because he is going for a Sentry. You might be like, well, if he's going to get aggressive, why not make more Stalkers? Because the Sentry allows you to kind of skip the Robo in favor of getting more gates up more quickly. And you can use a hallucinated Phoenix or something along those lines for high ground vision to be able to blink into their main. Whereas if you're going for a Robo, that's more of a defensive play where you're just looking to poke and prod. The Reaper survives. Well, Dad, this is for you. And sees the Twilight Council, which isn't necessarily a giveaway, but seeing the Twilight should give souL enough information to... He hinted heavily at a Blink all-in. He can't confirm until he sees the Stalkers, but in this case, yeah, SKillous just gonna slap down a third. Wait, souL... Really taking some time to register here. My brain is not processing fast enough. I need to upgrade off of my Pentium 2 processor. But souL is opting for a quick third CC. I believe he delayed his gas, and now he's just building tanks. He's really banking on a later peak here. Whereas SKillous is originally his plan was to get up in his base, do a lot of damage with Blink Stalkers. SKillous has, upon being scouted, I can't say for sure that was his plan, but it looked very likely that SKillous wanted to put on some pretty serious Blink pressure. But as soon as the Twilight got scouted, third base, 2 forges. Yeah, sure, he's still going to warp in the Stalkers. He's still going to be up in souL's face. And souL can't really do anything about it because he's not even going to have a starport for a while. Like, his starport should be starting momentarily. But he built a third command center right off the bat, which is greedy. But since SKillous is going for the more economic play, he's not going to really be able to punish it. 4 Stalkers, annoying, They can one-shot SCVs. They can one-shot Marines. They can be far too focused on and cause you to bank up hundreds of minerals and gas while doing relatively little damage. But they're a threat. But the real question, this game and so many games on Eternal Empire are like this, right? Where both sides they think about attacking one another and then decide, all right, let's just macro it out. And that's what we got here. +1/+1. SKillous maintains a slight lead, and with Chrono Boost, might be able to compound it. He's got Charge on the way. Looks like we're going to go for the Brute Force, the Mass Gateway, Charge Lots, Blink Stalkers, mostly Charge Lots. The real question will come now that the Robo is done. The real question will be, let me in. Does he do it? Do it. Oh, and now here we go. 6 Blink Stalkers in the main. How deep will they go? 1 tank shot. Can he get a... Oh my god, disgusting. Disgusting. He's making it work. The most obvious Blink Stalkers of all time. But now souL's got something in his eye, and he can't see it coming. That was damage that didn't need to happen. That's kind of an unforced error out of souL. He knew the hallucination was up there. Deal with that, and then take your third. But now his third has been delayed. He lost a tank. He's just in a rough spot. This is the kind of stuff you really hate as Terran. Anything that slows you down when you're going for the early economy, you're like, oh god. Now he's going to have Storm Carriers, Tempest, Colossi, Disruptors, I don't know, a good 401k. He has the economy for whatever he wants. And while some of that is true, most of it isn't. At the same time, though, SKillous can easily take his 4th now. He knows exactly the unit composition. All he has to do is make sure he gets his production up and his splash damage online by the time souL can move out. And souL now has medevac, so souL will likely be moving out. Armory's on the way. Ghost Academy. Don't tell me we're just going to sit here till 200 supply now. I really like how aggressively SKillous is expanding off of the information and damage he's done. Where... Oh, drops are both sides. Just a single... Are there Widow Mines in there? A couple Widow Mines, 4 Marines. Whereas the Storm Drop... Jimmy! Give me the forecast! Alright, that makes sense. But every Protoss... Well, what Protoss claim is a ridiculous upgrade. And the reason why so many Protoss... Wait, what happened to the medevac drop? Oh, it's right there. The reason so many Protoss have been relying on those Robo-Bay units, Colossi, Disruptors, that's about it, is because of the enhanced shockwaves. Ghosts aren't just for nuking in Bronze League heroes anymore, and they weren't before either, but that increases the radius of EMP significantly to the point where it can effectively outrange a Templar reliably. So that means no feedback easily. You can, just a couple EMPs, pretty much strip away the shields of most of your army. It means you need another alternative form of splash damage, usually in a relatively even economy game. But 2-2 is about finished. Both sides have powered up 70+ workers. 3 bases. Here comes a big drop out of souL, but at the same time, charge lots in the main. So many charge lots. Probes getting slaughtered. Here we go. The main base, a half a dozen, maybe more, like 8-9 charge lots in here. The drop from souL does a lot of damage to the probes, but the attacks at the front, the storms will be dropped. He runs through them because he has no choice. There's nowhere to go. Another round of storms. 1 tank holds the line. Only Marauders survive. The charge lots cleaned up in the main, but the command center itself is vulnerable. Will he try to save it? No. souL getting eviscerated back at home. 13, 14, 15 SCVs and counting. There's almost no units here. He cleaned up the main, but now the natural, the third's already gone. Another base. Oh, more probes going to be targeted. SKillous still has 67. The orbital command and all those SCVs with it. souL is hurting. He did not get the better end of that exchange. Even though he didn't really commit much, the charge lots in the main, as so often they do. Oh, the Stalkers trying to snipe off a Ghost. Some of the boys maybe taking a wrong path. I like the idea. The execution could use some work. 1 Ghost goes down. He's targeting more. Blinks away. Puts a Ghost into the medevac. But is there enough bio? There's maybe an opportunity with 2-2 finishing, and the army supply is about as close to even as they're ever going to be. How many ghosts are left? 4 ghosts. Bunch of Widow Mines. 2-2 seconds away. The boys in an awkward spot. The boys getting involved because where else do they have to go? They lost the 3rd command center. How many Templar? Just 2. I'm not sure where they are. They're in the Storm Prism. Pretty much if storms hit reliably, oh, even if they don't, I don't know. That's a lot of damage. Here comes the Prism. Can he target it? No, the Storm connects! Hero of the Storm. It's too much. There just isn't the damage negation here. souL has to tap it out. The first storms and the second storms connected. souL overcommitting to the wrong places and SKillous just pulling him apart. But it's a best of 3. We're not going to let one game define. Means there's another chance. I don't think souL made huge mistakes there, but as a Terran player in general, and souL specifically, I don't think you go into a game wanting to sit back and build up 3 bases. Like, that's not your ideal play style against Protoss. Most Terrans, and most successful Terrans, and most Terrans are comfortable when they're able to keep putting on pressure. Like, the best offense is a good defense, right? And it's very true in this matchup. As when the Protoss is just able to climb up that whole tech tree, you're kind of on a knife's edge. Because 1 or 2 instances of splash damage before everything comes together, and you break. SKillous handled himself just fine. Like, good micro, good splitting of units, aggressively expanding, which is something, I mean, it's not rare for Protoss, but one of the bigger mistakes I think lower level players make is, and it's especially applying to Protoss, is, well, he has units, so I should be scared and not expand. No. If he has units, you should expand as quickly as possible, so that way, by the time he actually puts together an attack and moves across the map, that expansion is done and no longer vulnerable. On top of potentially paying off, depending on when they attack. Oh, SCV! This is a weird exchange. Okay. Probe already being annoying. The most annoying unit in the game. The probe has caused so much heartbreak in so many series. Closely rivaled by Maru's SCVs. The only workers that have nearly as much effect as the probe are Maru's SCVs. Especially in 2018. If you remember the year of the proxy. Probe comes home. It saw everything it needed to see. All it was going to. That, of course, being early expand, probably a Reaper. I don't need to worry about bunkers in my base. I don't need to worry about a bunch of Marines. Or a proxy factory. It's not happening. No. What? Wait, does a Reaper doesn't beat a Sentry, right? Well, I think the Sentry would have won the fight, but he was trying to stutter step, because Reaper definitely doesn't beat a Sentry, even if you micro, but maybe he comes back. He comes back. Also, who makes a Sentry first? I don't know, maybe the Adept was out on the map. So, what oh. Where are you going? Is he gonna build a third command center in the corner? What? Okay. Drilling claws. I would love to be the one to be like, this isn't an Avengers movie, but this is gonna be a Thor drop. But no, drilling claws. Is it? I mean, we can dream. For about 20 more seconds, we get to dream of a Thor drop. But, yeah, now SKillous is gonna be more aggressive with the blink. He's got his probe out here. It'll take the third, but I don't think he has serious intentions of making that a big part of his game plan if he doesn't have to. Now, this is gonna be a little awkward. Well, so the armory's done. I'd imagine drilling claws start immediately. Don't tell me he's actually gonna go Thor. Okay, all right. Dreams crushed. Yeah, SKillous knows it was spotted. He cancels the game. The pylon cannot be canceled at this late stage. No. He might just sit there and wait for drilling claws. Drilling claws are such a dangerous upgrade. It feels like a big stretch, and it is a stretch. If there's a hallucinated phoenix, it's to a Protoss of this caliber. If a hallucinated phoenix comes in, or an observer or something, then seeing a tech lab upgrading gives it all away. Like, that tech lab, the only thing, what is it going to be, blue flame? What is it going to be, a cyclone upgrade? No! It's drilling claws. This is not a, like, this build isn't out of nowhere. It's just pretty rare. I'd say, like, less than 1 in 20 games we see it. But souL breaking out that aggressive strat. This is that Phoenix sending bad vibes towards the medevac. As hallucinated Phoenix oftentimes do. Wait. It's done. The drilling claws are done. He only has the 3... Well, he has 3 medevacs. Okay. Where's the third Widowmine? Oh, it's with the army. And drilling claws aren't, like, a terrible upgrade to have. By the way, charge is a... SKillous is kind of spiraling up in economy here. souL does have a third on the way, but not nearly as quick as last game. It's not like, oh, we got drilling claws and didn't do damage. It's all over. No, it's not like Banshee Cloak, for example, where you go for a couple Banshees for Cloak, doesn't pan out, and then you're usually done with Banshees. He's probably still going to be making Widowmines. So the drilling claws still have something left to give, because so far they've given nothing. And they're very good against charge lots. And also, by the way, okay, there is a robo. Never mind. Ignore. By the way, there's going to be observers, so that's an interesting counter. He doesn't know about the drilling claws yet. That's something to consider. I was hoping it was going to be a hidden base. It could have still been a hidden base. But so now, hey, let me check. What time? Oh, it's drop o'clock. Okay. The hallucinated Phoenix comes in. It drops. Boom. Boom. 13 probes. Directed. And he doesn't have detection, but it ain't over. Those probes can't run fast enough. Oh, he's not running at all. 1, 2, 3. Oh, that one goes into the assimilator. 22 probes. And he doesn't have detection, because who goes drilling claws? A devastating blow. It is later in the game, so he has several... Oh, wait, but wait, there's more! He's spread out the drops. The cannon is going to finish here, but the probes... Oh, 26 total. SKillous just going to go for the attack. He has an observer up front. Is there enough army to defend the probes? The mines strike again. 34 kills now. souL sitting on 56 SCVs. All he has to do is build up and keep it together. There's no cannon in the natural. He's going to keep taking chunks out of it. At this point, souL has +1 attack. SKillous has +1 armor for those charge lots, but with drilling claws mines and a good setup here, it keeps happening. 36. He waited for his moment. There's an observer right over those mines, but... Now, this sometimes happens to professional players. They're like, I did a crazy drilling claws play. Okay, my upgrades are finishing. I need my armory. because souL has forgotten he proxied an armory in the corner of the map. Oh, the Widow Mines are doing so much damage. SKillous is dipping so heavily in supply. The Archons aren't really chopping through enough. SKillous rebuffed. Have the mines finally been cleared out? But at what cost? 36 probe kills. SKillous takes stock of everything that's happening, and he decides, you know what? It's not enough. The drilling claws come through. Alright, and we are on match point in a best of 3. I mean, you're gonna try drilling claws in your play? It's tough to pull off. It's tough to pull off. You saw souL waiting it out there. The instinct is like, oh, it's finished, let's go. But he waited. He was tying a lot of units at home, but... Anyways, Jimmy says it's time for a quick ad before we go into Game 3. We've got to take advantage of that match point. I'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Winter, and I'm here to tell you that if you like and subscribe on YouTube here, that's not enough. Make sure to ring the bell. Make sure to say first. Make sure to say, well, Protoss is Imba, except when a Terran is good. But no Terrans are good, so Protoss is Imba. And also very important things like that. And also check out Wardy, whose amazing replays we have here for the low, low price of $5 a month with a subscription. Check out Wardy if you want. Thank you guys for sticking around. Game 3, SKillous versus souL. Nope, souL. In the top right. It is Team Maker souL. And the bottom left from Cascade Gaming. SKillous. This is a very early SCV to send out. Is he just scouting? Is he that convinced he's gonna 2-gate? Is he gonna block the bait? I don't know. Let's watch. Like, we could also just watch. Has he timed this out perfectly? I mean, he's gonna start building right before the probe that usually comes down the ramp. So here we go. The NG Bay block. An effective strat. Especially, like, it looks like SKillous wants to go for the Cybercore first. He doesn't know about this. So that's even more time. I mean, this is essentially going to finish. He's going to cancel at the last second. Yep. So that way he can get a 75% refund minus 25% restocking fee. Take the gas. Take the gas. Do it. Do it. The probe. So a gas geyser is larger than the gas itself. So that means if you got a worker on hold position there, they can't build it. You gotta remove them from the premises in order to build it. And SKillous handles that just in time. Oh wait, he's coming. Go back in. Do it. The engineering bay. I don't know. I zoned in so much to that. I pressed the escape key on my keyboard to cancel it. Because I'm like, you're supposed to cancel. I don't know why that was the one. But for some reason, I felt like I was playing it. I need to cancel that engineering bay. Just an aside. Reaper still alive. Still going to be able to get that scouting info. How does SKillous react to this? He's got a robo first for the first time. Now, It's an open question how much of what he's doing is a reaction to his expansion being blocked and how much is what he would have done anyways. He realizes souL... it costs money to build an engineering bay. 125 minerals to slap that thing down. And that slightly delayed souL's expansion. It's going to delay his build. But the question will be, was it worth it? In my opinion, I think so. Like, being able to get a near fully built engineering bay. There's only one Marine there. Like, if you're ever going to go. Maybe souL's trying to bait him. See how masterfully he's able to do it. Reaper still sharking around, looking for an opportunity, not going to be finding any. Now that Warp Gate is done, it's a Warp Prism first, which almost certainly means aggression. He's going to try to walk up and kill him. Or more like fly and teleport with the Warp Prism, but walk up as more of a metaphor. He does, like, there's no other attack out of SKillous. He's got 3 gateways, and that's it. He's building a forge now. I think he's got to acknowledge, yeah, I'm probably not going to outright kill him with this. Wait, was the Robo scouted? No. The Viking, building a Viking kind of gives you a medium response to almost anything. Like if you went Stargate, you got a Viking. War Prism, you got a Viking. Viking's not terrible on the ground or for harassment with that extra damage to mechanical either. Alright, this Stalker wants to get in on the action, but there's no room in the War Prism. A real issue. Is he going to warp in another round? At this point, SKillous is just building more probes, so I don't think that's on the table. It's kind of like, this is your ghetto blink stalker. This is, I have stalkers that can kind of blink, and I'm going to keep them outside your base to keep an eye on you. But SKillous has moved on. He's got his Twilight. He's going straight towards charge. +1 armor. Already invested in, being chrono boosted out. It's going to be a mass charge lot armor composition. He's gambling a little bit that souL wants to go for a tank push. And, well, souL has a couple tanks, but he's already built a 3rd command center. He's got 3 barracks online. He'll probably slap a couple more down. It doesn't look like he's going to be hinging everything on a 2-base tank push, which is what charge lots are best against. You just have an overwhelming number of charge lots, catch them out on the field, run them down, and slice them up. But that's not what is happening here. Well, okay. Move along, sir. This is Terran. Well, oh. That's what we, ladies and gentlemen, call micro. Oh, where did he go? But wait. Okay. Oh, and he micros back. Oh, he's not. He recalls before the Viking can get him. What is happening? For some reason, the sentry decided to forge its own path. But it's not quite gonna make... Oh! What a save! I don't think it was gonna kill it. But... you shall not pass. Shuts the door right in his face and... oh! We meet again. The Raven passes by the recalled Prism. Unfortunately, that's not a super pylon. So that means there's nothing really here. The Raven finding a way more damage than it ever should have done. There's not enough energy. Would love to drop this down. There's going to be a huge amount of charge slots, though. The War Prism. No recall this time, but there's another Warp Prism. More charge lots? Are there Templar? No, those are charge lots as well. He wants to drop on tanks. Does souL have enough army to deal with this with enough upgrades? There are now 24 charge lots and counting. 1-1 is still a few seconds out for souL. Means I don't know if he wants to fight that. Oh, yo, wake up, wake up! These SCVs are going the wrong way. So many of the boys are just going to straight up die, and he drops on the tanks on the high ground. Beautiful drop there. Takes out both tanks. A couple Widow Mines connect, but far late to the party. 15 SCVs and a couple tanks for minimal investment. He's only lost 5 charge lots in a Prism. And I think that was the Prism on the other side. The Raven got 8 kills, but who cares? Actually, SKillous cares, because instead of being up by a significant worker count, like he would have been if the Raven hadn't come in and gutted him, souL's only down 10 workers. He's been pretty diligently building those SCVs, and he kept the 3rd base alive. Now he's got 2-2 on the way. +2 attack and Storm are coming out for SKillous, but with Ghosts in production, I was about to check on that. With Ghosts in production, are there only 3 racks? There are 5 racks. Where are the other 2 racks? Am I blind? Oh. Raven gets in. Couple more kills. It's adding up. It's buying time. So souL doesn't panic. Like, this game so far, we've seen someone get attacked and be like, well, I guess I gotta try to kill him. But souL got attacked. He defended. And with a measured response, he will have a tech advantage once the EMP shockwaves finish. There's no drilling clause yet, but the probe count is now lower than the SCV count. Of course, souL has no way to know the exact numbers, but he knows he's been doing damage. He just now scouted. Well, you don't want to lose that for free. Down it goes. That Observer, I don't know why the Observer was at almost no HP. Probably an unlucky scan. Raven, back in again. Target fire on the probes. Diligence. And souL, well, finally a RoboBay out of SKillous. We might finally get a game here that doesn't end with the first strike. It does come down to the storms. +2/+2 will be done on the ground for souL. He has a good army supply. In fact, he has more. His army composition will be fully capable, and these bunkers mean that charge lots are going to have a real tough time. It's just going to come down to, do unlikely storms land? At this point, with this many ghosts, and with this kind of setup, Storm not reliable. And that's why the RoboBay and second Robo are so important, as they keep poking and prodding at each other. +2/+3. 2-2 is now done for souL, and in straight up bio up against like charge lots and even Archons, those upgrades matter a lot. Oh, this is the big damage. This is it right here. Drilling Claws. Devastating in Game 2. Devastating in Game 3. 17 kills in one volley. 54 probes left over. Still enough. But that hurts. And he's not done yet. He doesn't even have detection there. But wait! There's more! This time only adds a couple more probes to the count. But there's more mines in the main! Oh, negated pretty well, but they're not done over here. The Drilling Claws. Oh, and that's a natural! He's everywhere! He's hit 4 bases with Drilling Claws mines in less than 30 seconds. souL just ripping the heart out of SKillous. Down to 52. He's got to bring observers back and forth. And while he's cleaning up all these mines, besides taking the economic damage, when he sees the army, there's no reason for souL not to take back map control. In fact, I think it would be a mistake not to get out on the map right now. He's building Liberators. Actually, no. I take it. Let me take that. Take it back. Recall it. As he's getting Liberators, the next level of tech. How are you going to deal? Like, the only risk is getting run over by the main army. As SKillous has a big, strong, thick army here. But ranged Liberators are the final piece of the puzzle. Being able to just chunk up those high health but high damage units that don't really want to be able to get close. If he can get a half-dozen Liberators... Uh-oh, his own wall is working against him here. SKillous has an opportunity still. He's maxed out. He's got one army. The Liberators, a bit of a disjointed strike. Big storms to start things up, but EMPs drop on the Templar. Where's the rest of the army? souL, dipping in supply, has to retreat to his bunkers. One Liberator survives this exchange. Another Liberator shows up to the party. The orbital itself is vulnerable. SCVs are going to go down. The rest of the reinforcements, the bunkers working against souL more than for him. Suddenly, the splash damage connects. He wasn't able to bring everything together quite in time. One charge lag going to make things difficult. Plus 3 attack is on the way. Liberator range is still a few seconds off. SKillous just throwing whatever he's got at him, seeing what sticks, and so far, more than enough. The damage was done. This isn't a planetary. 1 Liberator. That's not going to cut it. 2, a little better. 1 Liberator better. Or twice as much, depending on what narrative you'd like. The thing is going back and forth. The Liberators have to be unsieged, resieged. Planetary's done now. That is a disgusting choke point for both sides, but it's actually hurting souL more than anyone. Well, the Stalker's trying to step up and take out a Liberator, but eating a whole lot of shots in the process. SKillous has rebuilt those probes. The few storms that did land, as well as the positioning, have made this more difficult. It looked like souL had taken the initiative in the game, but SKillous just went for it. Right before souL was quite ready. That orbital having a real tough day. The Liberators taking pot shots, killing Archons, and he has a backup command center, so that's not the end of the world. Backup command center isn't exactly how I describe it, but having another CC right there will make things a little easier. So now range is done. I feel like just salvage the bunker. Come on, like this. Guys. Oh! SKillous is trying to help him out here. Like, dude, just come on. Down goes an observer. How many more observers? 1. Where is it? It's somewhere on the screen. There it is. Dark Shrine on the way. souL is rebuilding a handful of SCVs. Not all. These bunkers are definitely, like, they were a good idea, I think, before, but now they're making things very difficult. There's no medevacs. He's building more. He's recognized that having medevacs is a good thing to do. The Liberator range making things difficult now. He's got the number. He's got over half a dozen. That's so many that the time for fighting with a well-staggered... Finally, the bunker is destroyed. Salvaged, rather. 25% restocking fee. Widow Mines. That'll be the end of that probe. Interesting from SKillous. Instead of saying, like, I'm going to go Stargate, he says, I'm going to go Disruptor DT Blink. So I'm going to, instead of just my lower tech units being all over the place, I'm going to have the high tech units as well. The explosive composition. The Liberator's not quite in position. SKillous might have an opportunity, but where are the storms? Nowhere to be seen. EMP strips away the shields. Another round of reinforcements. SKillous are really trying to press the issue. He's building up into a better unit composition so far. Liberation zones, Venn diagram of freedom. This is a terrible place to attack into. The Liberator's taking massive swaths of units out simultaneously. The Liberators, he's tearing over the Colossi. But behind it, the Colossi stutter stepping back. SKillous obliterated. He walked up a high ground into freedom and was liberated immediately. Not an overwhelming defeat, but a serious one. Recovering from that is going to be difficult. There was no reason. Well, he thought he had an opportunity. The Liberators are a little out of position. The army's clumped up. But it doesn't take that long to re-siege. You got 7, 8 ranged Liberators shelling you, and importantly, he does... Wait, I lied. He does have +1 ship weapons, not +2, which is a more major factor against things like Stalkers, but... SKillous has the economy to rebuild. He's got 6 bases. So while that was a victory for souL, he's not... We've seen him be in an advantage before. And you might be like, well, he was just freeing up supply. There's a weird way of doing it. You don't want to lose all of your splash damage in one fight while they maintain... Like, if he had taken out all the Liberators and Medevacs and Ghosts, I don't know, some way magically, then you can maybe say, okay, we go back to our corners, rebuild. But he didn't. There's still Liberators. There's still Ghosts. There's still Medevacs and Mines. The units that SKillous lost were more important than the units that souL did. But since souL did have a less stable economy, he had to spend time to rebuild, and now SKillous is back. He's maxed out again with a unit composition I think he's more likely to see as a good option. But there are more starports on the way. Finally, we see the Stargate. You need the Stargate. You got to take to the skies, otherwise you're on borrowed time. Tempest and DT Blink and Disruptors are one of the most flashy ways to either have amazing clips on Twitch or lose a huge amount of resources almost instantly. We'll have to see. Disruptors looking for an opportunity. DT's with Blink. This base isn't even at full HP. He's gonna go for the snipe. The DTs, they jump on the planetary, and the planetary disappears. The SCVs alongside, and SKillous gonna hit the center again. souL reeling from the planetary kill. EMPs gonna strip away a little. Zoning disruptor balls. Suddenly souL, 17 SCVs down and has to evacuate one mining location. Loses the other. The Blink DT's paying off there. That base not gonna happen. souL now has to take the initiative, no matter how awkward it is. Well, EMPs are good. Disruptors on cooldown. Now is the time to strike. All the charge slots taken down, but he's outmaneuvered the Liberators. He just ran around. Disruptor finds a ghost. Didn't have energy, not a huge deal. Turret flanking Colossi! What a beautiful flank there. More. A bunch of SCVs out of work, unemployed, looking for a job, and souL desperately trying to provide them with one. We'll have to see. souL's going for it. The heart of the Protoss base. The Disruptors caught before they fire. And at the back, he doesn't... The Widow Mines just hit the DTs. He didn't even have detection. They were lumped in with the charge lots, which is not where they wanted to be. He's going to have to recall into his main. There's no energy for recall. Suddenly, the Terran army is in the main. SKillous has more supply, but the production is about to be gutted. The Templar, the Tech, the Tempest. Oh my god, the Colossi are burning away most, but not all, of this bio army. The Blink Stalkers are looking for an opportunity. The Tempests are chipping away at the Liberators. All of the gateways will be depowered before this is over. A couple charge lots warped into the main. The Dark Shrine, the Tempest, about 4 hours later, will kill all of these Tempests. He's gonna, I mean, all of the Liberators. He recalls to the main! An interesting play. The Liberators are already there. They're shelling. souL's gonna lose almost everything. And he didn't actually kill the production. He just paused it. It looked good, but the Colossi got some great swipes off. The Liberators were outmaneuvered, and now souL is down 60 supply. And there, what is the saving grace? He killed the... Well, he didn't kill the Templar Archives. He didn't kill the Dark Shrine. He killed the Robo Bay, apparently. He depowered a lot of the gateways. How many is that left with? The SKillous only has 11 now. This next attack could be deadly. The army of souL is not equipped to deal with this. A lot of SCVs on the bucket brigade of minerals. souL's going to try to base trade with less units than last time. Every base. souL is out of mining. He's down 100 supply. Last time it was a strong attack. It was a gamble. Now it's a dream. SKillous holds it together. A messy exchange. souL just not quite able to keep up with SKillous's multi-pronged attacks. But finally in Game 3 putting something back and forth together. Thank you to Wardy for the replay packs as always. Hopefully you enjoyed that game. That Game 3 made up for the Games 1 and 2, I think, even though the drilling cosplay was very nice. If you think so too, like and subscribe and ring the bell. And find some opportunity to complain about Zerg 12 replies into a comment. Thank you for watching. Good luck and have fun.